What's going on, everybody? It's your boy J-May, back checking in with the people, reporting to you about that fire. That fire known as Spider-Man PS4, Lord have mercy. I gotta give y'all my first impressions because I finally gotten a chance to put a good solid 4 hours in this game. Because when I first got the game, I did do a live stream. You can check that out on my channel. I only played about like the first 2 hours of the game. And I literally haven't played the game since those first 2 hours of the game. All weekend, I've been super busy. But now I finally got the chance to get back to y'all with my first impressions of the game. And goddamn, I'm loving this game, y'all. This game is so much fun. If you have had any concerns, we already seen the review scores. It reviewed very well. It reviewed great in my opinion. A little bit lower than my predictions. I predicted a 90 as far as the score would go on Metacritic. It ended up settling around at 87. So not too far off. Also not a bad score at all. I don't want y'all to get the impression that I think an 87 is bad because my predictions were 90. No, an 87 is a great score in my opinion. And I'm happy to see that the majority of the people that played the game to review loved it overall. Now, me personally, I gotta start talking about just the visuals of the game. Forget a downgrade. Forget anything that we had, any complaints that I've had about how the visuals changed from before to now, because this goddamn game is beautiful. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm playing on a 1080p monitor with a PlayStation 4 Pro. So if any of y'all have a PlayStation 4 Pro or on 1080p looking to upgrade to 4K soon, I want to let y'all know that the game looks fantastic. The game looks amazing. They did a great job with the visual representation of New York City. All that stuff. It just looks really good. And on the PlayStation 4 Pro, you know, you get the super sampling. So you get the whatever resolution that the game runs at max. It gets sampled, super sampled down to fit on a 1080p display. So the image quality looks much better. Also, I want to shout out the game options. You can turn like motion blur down, film grain, all that other type of stuff that's in, you know, usually PC games. They have a couple of those settings in the Spider-Man game, and I usually like to turn all that stuff off because even though some of those settings might make it look more like the film, I just want my image to be raw. I want it to look, to me, in my opinion, the best that it can look. So I turn all that stuff off, motion blur, Jesus. I turn all of that stuff off because I like the way I don't like the way motion blur looks in my games. And also I think motion blur is usually used to help out with 30 frames per second. But I gotta be honest with y'all, this is probably some of the best 30 FPS that I've ever felt in the game. I know that might sound blasphemous, especially coming from somebody who plays on PC, and usually I run my games at 60 frames per second at least. I have to be honest, the 30 frames per second feels really good. I'm sure 60 would feel better, but the 30 has not been an issue for me at all. I have not ran into any frame dips or nothing like that. This game runs absolutely amazing on the performance side. Let's continue on. Let me talk about the combat before I end up, you know, making this video 20 damn minutes long. I'm not trying to be here for that long. The combat of this game, when you first seen it in videos, a lot of people immediately jumped to the comparison of Batman Arkham, the Arkham series. And I gotta be honest, after playing this game for like 4 or 5 hours, I feel like the combat in this game is not as tight as the Arkham games, but I feel like that's not a bad thing. I feel like I like the combat in both of those games equally so far. And even though the combat in Spider-Man is not that tight, I think it works well because Spider-Man is more of an acrobatic superhero. So with him, he's swinging in different places. He's launching people in the air. He's doing all types of flips and stuff like that. You kind of don't want it to be that tight, you know, bouncing from person to person kind of combat that you get in Batman. I just don't know. I just think that the combat fits well for Spider-Man, even though it feels more loose. You know what I'm saying? It's more free-flowing. If I had to put it in a better word to help you understand what I'm talking about. It's more free-flowing. You get all different types of gadgets in the game. I've probably unlocked like maybe half of the gadgets that they have. You get all different types of suits. Each suit has like a special ability. And not only that, but if you like a special ability from a different suit, you can go ahead and pair a different ability with a different suit. So if you like this suit the best, the way it looks, and if you like this suit power, you can pair those two together. So I thought that was really cool. The game has side activities like crimes. It has research activities. It has the backpacks that you can find around the world. It has what else? Landmarks that you can do, as well as side missions. And these are like dedicated side missions where it's not just your average fetch quest. These are in depth. They have a little story to them. And you know what I'm saying? You're going from place to place and things like that. So far that stuff has been cool. Unlocking the tokens help you get, you know, different suits and things like that. Help you unlock the suits. Help you unlock upgrades for your gadgets, because you can upgrade those as well. So as far as like the variety in the combat, it's all there. The difficulty I'm playing on is spectacular, which is the hardest difficulty in the game. Kofi suggested that everybody start there because he felt like the game was easy. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was getting bodied early on in this game, but as I got the feel of the combat, I started to get better. You can still get bodied though. If you're not on your P's and Q's, these motherfuckers will take you out quick. They will take you out quick, especially the dudes with the guns and the rocket launchers. They will body your ass, so you got to be careful. You got to make sure you're on point, or you will get taken out. So I'm not regretting picking the spectacular difficulty at all. I'm here for that. I'm gonna stick with it. It's not, you know, it's not anything that I'm having like so much trouble where I feel like I need to change it. It's not bad at all. If anything, the story stuff has been pretty easy. It's more of like the crimes that you run into, because sometimes it gets a little crazy. And like they got like Fisk Towers is what I think they're called, Fisk Towers or Fisk locations, where it's pretty much like a base that you go to and you got to take out waves of enemies. That can get pretty crazy because there's so many enemies coming at you at once. And you can find yourself, you know, getting overwhelmed. But they give you a lot of things to interact with in the environment to help you out, as well as being able to swing all throughout the damn the base that you're in. So, you know what I'm saying? That's what I said. Spider-Man, he like, even though the combat is not as tight as Arkham, it's perfect for Spider-Man as a character. Yeah, not too much else for me to talk about. Oh, maybe I could talk about a little about the story. I haven't gotten far in the story at all. I've been doing a lot of the side stuff. Pretty much, I've gotten up to... Actually, I'm not even going to spoil anything, but I haven't gotten past anything that I haven't already seen in trailers that have officially been released by PlayStation or Marvel. So if you want to, you know what I mean, kind of pinpoint where I'm at, that's what I can tell you so far. I'm not going to spoil anything in the story. I'll save all that, not even for my review. I still won't spoil anything there. Maybe we'll do a spoiler cast episode with the Press Star family, and we could do something like that and talk about not how we felt about the story. Loving the characters. The voice acting has been good. The Mary Jane missions have been exactly what I expected them to be, and they're okay at best. I've only done a couple so far, so I have to keep playing to see how they evolve and develop and things like that. I like playing as Peter Parker, especially doing the puzzles that you get to do as him. They're kind of challenging when you were doing the puzzles as Peter Parker, but they're not anything that's too crazy. So, you know, don't get the idea that you're gonna get stuck on stuff like that. You're gonna get the gist of everything, and I think they're pretty cool puzzles. So I think that's what I'm gonna end my first impressions, y'all. I'm gonna keep playing the game. I probably won't do any more live streams of this game. I just want everybody to be able to experience it themselves. But make sure y'all rate the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. And I'll catch y'all in my next video. Peace out.